The stories I share from my years as a lawyer are composites and represent the themes of what I've seen in many families where the facts and experiences of those involved were similar. If you think you know a man or a woman from the descriptions in this book, I promise you it's purely coincidental and you don't. I've used the terms marriage, wife, husband, and yet in doing so, I am not commenting on or making value judgments about your particular form of a long-term relationship. I intend for these messages to help anyone who is in an unhappy relationship and searching for what to do next. Please be aware that the legal consequences of splitting up vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction and may differ depending on whether you are married or living together. Yes, I am a lawyer by training, but in this book, I do not provide any legal advice about separating from your partner. If you are considering this option, you owe it to yourself to consult with a divorce attorney or family lawyer in your municipality to get personal advice for you and your family. Is your marriage harmful? Maybe you find yourself in an unhappy marriage, which describes most couples I saw while practicing family law. Maybe you're unhappy because you've drifted apart from your spouse, you've lost the passion, or you're stuck in what seems like endless conflict. Or maybe one of you has had an affair. For whatever reason, you're desperately frustrated with your unhappiness. A harmful marriage is different from an unhappy marriage. How? Almost each client I spoke to said his or her spouse was emotionally abusive. In all the marriage conflicts I've seen, things get messy. People say things they don't mean or intend. In many cases, the messiness of their conflict turned out to be more mutual than they could admit. When you're in an unhappy marriage, it's common to be confused about where your emotional pain is coming from. I heard people say things like, "My husband stores up all his anger from work and dumps it on me when he gets home. He's always venting." Or, "My wife gets exhausted being with the kids and starts drinking wine before dinner, then she zones out and blows me off." Or, "My spouse knows how worried I am about our finances, but goes out and spends anyway." In these cases, both spouses are dealing with pain. The line between unhappy and harmful is blurred. The causes are complex and not easily identified. Is one partner drinking or overspending because the other partner is withdrawing love or avoiding intimacy? The root causes of both partners' pain may be more intertwined than either person realizes. The words and actions that come from brokenness may be labeled emotionally abusive at times by our spouses, and that's how many unhappily married people talk to me about their spouses' dysfunctional behavior. But I think applying the term emotionally abusive in this broad sense isn't helpful. Having said that, you need to be honest with yourself and take appropriate steps when your partner's words and actions are not just making you unhappy, but are objectively and consistently harmful to you or your children. If your partner is behaving in ways that are violent or toxic, you need to protect yourself and reach out for help. Staying under the same roof with him or her may only cause you more harm. While that scenario I just described is pretty clear-cut, for some married people the line between unhappy and harmful is not as easily defined. I strongly encourage you to seek help to figure out whether or not you are in a harmful relationship. Speak with a professional therapist or counselor to uncover why your marriage makes you question whether it's unhappy or actually harmful. At a minimum, talk to your doctor, a therapist, a pastor, or someone wise and objective whom you trust. Give that person full disclosure of the reasons for your concerns and take his or her advice seriously. I know people who have needed to leave their marriages because they had become toxic and abusive. Here's the point I'm underlining. I'm not advocating that you stay in your marriage, at least living under the same roof, while you're dealing with toxic, violent, or destructive behavior from your spouse. If this is your situation, please get professional help to make a safety plan.